们首先敬礼传承祖师，敬礼了明和尚，敬礼沙迦正空上师，敬礼16世大宝法王卡玛巴，敬礼图登达尔吉上师。我们敬礼坛城三宝，敬礼今天同修的本尊莲华生大师，敬礼五佛母师母丹真嘎措图登西地，各位上师、教授师、法师、讲师、助教、堂主，以及各位同门，还有网络上的同门，大家晚安，大家好。你好，大家好。愛してる。サランエ。Hola amigo. Que quiero mucho. すごい。一番。気持ちいい。juみ。やび。プリンプリン。こんばんは。我们今天修莲华生大师的法，我们很期望莲华生大师以及所有的护法能够护持我们生活中的弟子他们如果遭遇到困境的，或者是有灾难的，或者是有病业的，有种种不吉祥或者是不如意的，希望莲华生大师及所有的
Guru Padmasambhava and all the protectors
能够解除他们的一切的
can resolve all their
灾难
calamities, sicknesses,
困厄
and
而且能够
difficulties and miseries,
吉祥化为如
that they all can be transformed into something auspicious
健康
and according to their wishes. And may they have health and longevity.
那么莲华生大师
Guru Padmasambhava
西藏弘法50年 在西藏弘法50年
disseminated the Buddha Dharma in Tibet for 50 years.
他把一切法教
And at the end,
给了这个依喜抽
he transmitted
他的
all the
佛母
pith instructions of the Buddha Dharma to Ishijogo, his
有的是莲花生大
Buddha
师
mother or
之
consort.
间的传承，有的是依喜抽嘎
Some
的传承。
Some were the lineage through Guru Padmasambhava, and some were Ishijogo's herself,
莲花生大师
lineage herself.
最深
And
更
Grandmaster
密的观点，
received the most profound and secret empowerments from Guru Padmasambhava twice.
最深
Twice I received
观点。
the most profound and secret empowerments from Guru Padmasambhava.
莲花生大师就等于是
So Guru
无数
Padmasambhava
上师
we can say is Lenka Master Lu's guru. It's the same, no difference. That is a very deep and profound and secret lineage. A kind of lineage that's very profound and secret. We all know that he is a lotus born or emanated from lotus. He appeared as a baby on top of lotus at the Dhanakosha sea or lake. And there was a king who then brought him back or home. So a baby on top of a lotus, then of course he's and completely and entirely lotus youth or lotus born or Padma Kumara. Before the main Dharma teaching, let me first share a joke. Because everybody is so quiet. Someone was waiting for the microwave at 7-Eleven. And while he was waiting, he heard some soft music. So he followed the music and started to sing. So there was a girl next to him and said, "Did anyone ever tell you that you sing really nicely?" And he said, "No." But he was secretly pleased. And then that lady that continued and said, "Well, since nobody had told you, so don't sing then." So he must not have sung well. These words are related to reality. The night breeze that have the breeze, the night air that you breathe is the same as the night air that I breathe. And the path that you walk on is the same as the path that I walk on. And according to the pandemic control, yeah, that means you're connected. So, I have breathed in the night air that you breathe, and you have walked on the path that you have walked on. This is dangerous. There was a beautiful lady that added me in my Facebook, and then she looked quite good, but she had heavy makeup. So I agreed. And after a while, she sent a text and asked, "Do you want to see me without makeup?" And I tried to stop my fast heartbeat, and I replied, "Sure." Then slowly she took off her wig, took off her fake eyelashes, and then took off or cleansed all the powder on her face, and the fake the iris to enlarge your eyes. And there was the familiar face of my wife. Nowadays, makeup is quite amazing. So married guys should be careful. I remember there was a joke like this. A wife, a lady, a missus, went to Korea for plastic surgery, and half a year later she comes back home. She came home and she wanted to give a surprise to her husband, so she did not notify him. So she got home, rang the bell, and her husband opened the door and looked at her for quite a while. And this wife smiled seductively. And the husband said, "Oh, my wife's not home. Come in, quick." That's a joke. Now we'll get on the main topic. A question from Taiwan, Lian Yao. Question from Taiwan. Grandmaster, how are you? In Kaohsiung, once I received an empowerment from the Home Sound Tara, and her appearance is her right hand is the wish-granting mudra, her left hand is holding a lotus, and on top of the lotus there's bow and arrow. I would like to ask, why a Tara that perform Dharma rituals with sound and the home syllable, why she carries bow and arrow as her Dharma implements? Is it for attracting, or is it for the purification, enrichment, magnetization, and subjugation? So the Home Sound Tara had been transmitted in Kaohsiung Da-yi Temple.
她的法相简介是这样子的。
So her image,
她的身
in brief,
是
is
黄色，
her body is
一面
yellow,
二背，
one face, two
样貌
arms,
如16岁的
and
少
she looks 16 years
女，
old.
五官如绝色之美，
And
右手
she looks very
艳艳，
beautiful. Her right
左手
hand is the
十
wish-granting
花
mudra, and the left
十个
hand is the
十个
lotus
莲花，
holding mudra.
莲花上有
And
个
on top
焰，
of the lotus, there are a bow and
嗡
arrow
度的心咒是
and the mantra.
打了，嘟打了，嘟了，吽，说哈，打了，嘟打了，嘟了，吽，说哈，嗡，打了，嘟打了，嘟了，吽，说哈。
Om Tara Dudara Dura Hom Soha.
现在回答你，
So my answer,
这个吽字，
the Hom
知道这
syllable,
个嗡
we all know about Om, Ah,
三个
Hom.
字，
There's 3 syllables or 3 characters.
最高的三字母，最高的三
We
字母，
refer to them as the highest 3 syllables mantra.
它
Om
很多的解释，
has many
其中有一个解
explanations.
释是这
One
样
of
的，
them is
它是属于整个宇宙的意识，
the consciousness of the whole universe, of the whole cosmos.
这个啊
And Ah
就代表着
represents
由宇宙的意识所出现的本尊，就是啊。
the appearing yidam from the consciousness
由
of the
宇宙意
universe,
识
that is Ah.
所显现的本尊就是啊。
The yidam appearing from
吽
the consciousness of the universe is Ah.
就是
And
成
Hom
就
is
成就一切
attainment
的意思，成就的一切，
attaining everything. Everything is accomplished
宇宙的意
or
识
attained.
显现的本尊，
So
成
from
就
the consciousness of the universe, the yidam is appearing and attaining everything.
变吽字是属于变化万千，
Or we can say that the Hom
在这里啊，
syllable means
在吽音度里面
innumerable manifestations or
吽字
transformations.
就代
So the
成
Hom
就一切。
of the Hom Tara, Hom Sound
这
Tara,
吽
means that
可以是
everything
白色，
is attained.
还是习斋，
So the Hom can be white for purification,
可以是黄色的，
can be yellow
它是增益，
for enrichment,
可以是红色的，
can be
它
red
就是敬爱，
for
可以是
magnetization,
蓝色
love
的，
and respect, and it can be
是
blue
降服。
for subjugation.
那么这位莲瑶弟子所问的，
And this disciple
为
Yan
什
Yao
么他的
asked,
法器是弓箭呢？
but why her Dharma instruments are
因
bow and
为
arrow?
吽字这个音
Because the sound Hom
也可以变化成为弓箭。
can transform into bow and arrow.
有一个吽字变
From
出
one
来的弓
Hom
箭，
character,
它射
it
向某一个
transforms
人。
into bow and arrow. And when
如果这个
the
弓箭
arrow
是白
is
色的，
white
那就是习斋；
and shot toward a person, that
如
would be
果是黄
purification.
色的，
And
是
if
真
they're
意；
yellow, that's enrichment.
如果是红色的，
If they're red,
那就是敬爱；
that's magnetization.
如果是蓝色的，
If they're
那就是
blue,
降服。
that's subjugation.
所以你的问题就在这里解答。
So this is the answer to your
可以用
question.
来做习真怀书，
They can be
弓
used
箭
for
礼
the purification, enrichment, manifestation, and subjugation.
可以用来做
That's the
习
meaning
真
of the
怀
bow
书，
and arrow,
也就是把吽日化
which
成弓箭，
means you transform home
然后各种
character
颜色
into
的
bow and
弓
arrow
箭有各种
of
的作用，
various colors for various
像
functions.
射招
Like for
是
attracting,
红色的弓箭，
that would be red bow and arrow.
这里也就是作为习斋、真意、
So they can be
定爱
used for
降
purification,
伏。
enrichment, magnification, and subjugation.
这是回答连瑶台湾连瑶所的问题。
So that's the answer to Lian Yao from Taiwan.
第二个，中
Second
国
question.
莲花一颗，莲花一颗所问的。
From China,
弟子
Lian Hua
莲花
Yi Ke.
诚心顶礼师尊，
I
请师尊
sincerely
慈悲
pay
解惑，
homage
感恩师尊。
to Grandmaster.
Yi.
Please resolve my
请教师尊，
questions.
有句话
Thank
叫
you.
业力相当，方为
There's a
夫
saying that say that
业
a
力
couple
相当，
has
方为
similar
这话是否
level
正
or
确？
amount
我
of
认为
karma. Is this
那么
accurate?
夫妇双方中，其中一方
If
真
one
心努
party
力修行，
of the couple is
消业
very
增福，
diligent in their spiritual
另一方没
cultivation
有
to
修行，
eradicate karma
那么
and
日
increase
积
their
月
blessings,
累，
and
夫
the
妇
other
两人的
party is
福
not
报
cultivating
会
at
不
all,
会因
then
业
after
大业大
a period
而
of time,
最终分
would
道
there
扬
be
镳？
distance
他
between
第一
them
个问
that
题，
eventually they would go separate ways? That's his question.
这个问题呀、业力相当，方为夫妇。
So
这句话
a couple has similar level or amount of karma. I've never heard
所
this
有的
saying.
谁听过这句话？
Anybody else have heard of that?
业力相当，方为夫妇。有谁听过？
Anybody?
没有听过啊？莲旺上师是博学多闻，
Master Lian Wang is
博
knowledgeable.
学多闻的，他没有听过。
He's never heard of it.
那个大使也摇头，
And the ambassador also shook his head.
这边也没有人说有人听过。
And nobody else here said that they
业
have heard
力
of
相
this.
当，方为夫妇。
A couple has similar amount or level of
这
karma.
句话我也没有听过。
I've never heard of it either.
有句话说，业力相当，方为夫妇。此话是否正确？
Is the saying accurate? Well, I've never heard of it.
如何能够讲正确跟
How
没有
can
正
I
确呢？
tell if
我们
it's
这里这
accurate
么
or
多人
not? And we have so many people here,
上师这么多，法师也这么多，
so many
所
masters
有同门
and
这么多，
reference and disciples, but none of us have ever heard of it.
这话从何而来？
Where did this
请你
statement come from? Please tell us
下
first.
次再写一个这个 到中委会来，
Send
此话出自
a note to the
哪一
Jupiter
本经
Foundation
里面有
and please write where this comes
谁
from.
写的这个论，
Who wrote it? Is in which
佛
sutra
道
or
的
which
经理论，到底是谁写的
treatises?
论？
In
讲了这句
Buddhism,
话
there are
业力相
precepts,
当，
sutras, and
方为夫妇。
abhidharma, but which one that
我觉
stated
得
this?
夫妇这两个字啊，
Husband and wife In Chinese, sometimes we say a couple. Yeah, it's play of word. Or you cheat each other. It's a homophone in Chinese. I've told this joke before. Xiaoming told his dad, I know your secret. And dad said, let me give you $500. Don't tell my secret. Wow, this is so good. So he went to his mom and said, Mom, I know your secret. And mom said, oh, I'll give you $1,000 and please don't tell anybody. Wow. He thought, ooh, this is good. So he told the postman that came, Postmaster, I know your secret. And then he cried. I mean, he shed tears and said, now you know who I am. And hugged Xiaoming and cried. And Xiaoming was puzzled. So it's hard to say that when you have equal karma, you become husband and wife. There's some that have a huge difference between them. There's a very famous song artist, Wang Lihong. He lived his own life, and his wife wrote 5,000 words about him, Wang Lihong. Have you read it? It's in the newspaper. The ambassador read newspapers. Anybody read newspapers these days? Or on the internet too, right? So their lives are different. That's a tangent. I'm saying that his karma is different for Li Hongwang. His voice was wonderful. His songs were really nice. I mean, he sang really well. He sings really well. I like his songs too. That's Li Hongwang's song. So bits and pieces giving happiness is sprouting. So he must have good karma in order to sing beautiful songs like that. But how about his wife? Right? A different kind of life for her. she has the karma of giving birth to 3 children. She's very family oriented. According to what his wife wrote, he never takes care of the family, so of course that's different, right? So how can they have equal or the same kind of karma? No. They just have the affinity to get married, but their karma are different for 2 people. So his wife has given birth to 3 children and took great care of the family. Everything is for Li Hong Wang. But what is the reality? Is it according to is it really like what the media spread? It's hard to say. So sometimes people become a couple although they have different kinds of karma. Not always the same. His second question. Someone said that when a woman gets married, that her fate and destiny will follow her husband's. Is this accurate? And if they get married, they get divorced, and she lives by herself, raising her kids, then her destiny would be affected by the feng shui of her own family or her ex-husband's family. What are you asking, Lianhua Yike? This person. Now she's asking about feng shui. What? I heard the saying in Taiwan that a woman is the fate of vegetable seeds. So where you place the seed, then you would grow in that soil. So woman is the fate of like a vegetable seed. So wherever the vegetable seed is, it would grow accordingly. So her environment or the family that she enters would create a certain magnetic field or certain destiny. That's why the Taiwanese say that a woman has the fate or destiny of a vegetable seed. So it is kind of similar to the second question. Well, this statement is accurate. Once you get married, then your destiny will follow your husband's. Whether you get married or you're divorced, that's part of your fate. And once you get married to someone, then you start to intermingle with him. And then when you get divorced, then you stop that affinity. Or the affinity is gone. Not necessarily. So if you're always with your husband, then your husband's destiny and your destiny would be related. But once you get divorced, then there's no more intermingling. So if they are separated, then she will not be influenced by the feng shui of the ex-husband. she can create her own. So if you stay in this home, then the home has feng shui, and the burial places or tombs also have its feng shui. That's like a magnetic field that would affect the occupants. But if you leave the house, of course you will not be affected by the feng shui of the house. So let's just talk about houses instead of burial things. So if you have left the husband or the husband's house, then of course you're not affected. You will have your own magnetic field. So if she lives by herself raising her kids, will she be affected by the feng shui of her own original family or the ex-husband's family? No. So you influence yourself. Third question. You get married, but without clear-headed, and just due to karma, you get married, but you're not happy in the marriage, and due to the children, and also for the financial or economic condition, you cannot get divorced, but you cannot happy. What kind of practice should I do so that I can finish my marriage? So, are you a man or woman? It seems like you're a woman, but your name is Ike. It sounds like one blossom of lotus. You're asking about marriage. So after marriage, you're not happy, and because of issues with the children and finance, you can't get divorced, but you can't also live happily. What kind of practice should I do to end it? We have two magnetizing deities, and they are Guru Gule, Buddha Mother, and Ragaraja. So, what kind of dharma practice can she do to end the marriage? Any opinion? Use the pole to beat him. That's right too. Yeah, you should practice Mahabala, and you use Mahabala's pole to beat him until he runs away or until he obeys you or listens to you. You're so smart. You use Mahabala's rope to tie the two of you together, right? Is that right? Is that what you're saying? How about if he also practices Mahabala? Okay, then I don't have to teach you anything. You can just practice Mahabala. So, there's a Dharma sister here who teaches you to practice Mahabala, and then you use the Vajra pole to beat him until he leaves, because she wants to end it sooner. These 3 questions that you wrote are woman questions. But your name is Lianhua Yike from China. Okay. Doesn't matter whether you're man or woman, I wish you happiness. Vegetables, oil, salt, sauces, rice and tea. They all fulfill. As long as you're here, everything is fine. I wish everybody is happy. Now we will talk about the Vajra Sutra. Subhuti said, World Honored One, the real phenomena are non-phenomena. Therefore, the Tathagata named it real phenomena. World Honored One, it is easy for me to believe, comprehend, accept, and uphold the sutra immediately upon hearing it. However, in the ensuing 500 years, it would be most rare for sentient beings to hear, believe, understand, accept, and uphold the sutra. Why? Because it is rare for a person to not have any view of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. The phenomena of self is non-phenomena. So are the phenomena of others, the phenomena of sentient beings, and the phenomena of lifespan. They are all non-phenomena. Why? Only those who abandon all phenomena are called Buddhas. Subhuti said that. Today, I have talked about believe, understand, accept, and uphold. And the most rare. Which means the non-phenomena of self, the non-phenomena of others, non-phenomena of sentient beings, non-phenomena of lifespan. If you can accept and uphold that, that would be the most rare. Sakyamuni Buddha spoke on the sutra, non-phenomena of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. Why is it the most rare? Because never before a head or a founder of a religion ever stated that. Sakyamuni Buddha stated the non-phenomena of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. This was spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. There are many religions in the world. The Roman Empire, during the Roman Empire, what they believe was the Western belief, which is the Vatican's. So that's the Western religious group and the Eastern religious group. And they they go further and further away. They went separate ways, and the Western religious group became the Vatican, and the Eastern religious group became the Orthodox. And their centers is in Turkey and Greece. So the Roman Catholic or Vatican is the Western church or religious group, but the Orthodoxy is the Eastern churches. And they believe in one God. They are monotheism. And Jesus was born in Nazareth. He was baptized by John the Baptist, and the heavenly gate opened according to the New Testament in the Bible. This is my beloved Son. So John the Baptist gave baptism to Jesus in the river. The heavenly gate opened, and the Holy Spirits were like pigeons, flew to Jesus, and his body radiated light, and he started to preach. So Matthew, Mark, Lucas, John, all the books in the Bible. So the preaching, the four books, the four main books in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Lucas, John. That's his preaching. So when he was 33, he went to Jerusalem, the holy city that was still part of the Roman Empire during the Roman Empire. And because Jesus' popularity became more and more, so he was crucified on the cross due to Pilatus was the judge during that time, and he judged Jesus to execute Jesus on the Pontius Pilate. So in monotheism, God and Jesus was the Son and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. So the God was Jehovah, and then Jesus and all the Holy Spirits. Their union is the Trinity, and that's a monotheism. And the next one is Muhammad. The prophecy by Moses to take the Hebrews to cross the Red Sea and traveled around for many years and got to Mount Sinai. And Moses heard that God said that that's the land for you. And that land is Palestine. The modern day, the Palestine. And Jerusalem now became the holy place for three religions. One is for Hebrews, and for Catholics, and Christianity,
穆斯林的圣地，
and also Muslim.
穆斯林的圣地有3个地方，
There are
一个是麦
3
加，
holy places for Muslim. One is Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem.
那穆罕默德呢，63岁，
And Muhammad died at 63.
他出生的时候本来是
When
很
he
有
was
钱的，
born,
后来家道中
he
落，
was very
他就
rich,
帮人家牧羊，小的时候牧
and
羊，
then it
后
it
来
felt, and then he
他
became a
凭着他
shepherd
自
when
己
he
的
was
努力，
young, and he
就跟
relied
一个
on
寡妇，
himself and
呃
with the
赶这个
widower
骆驼啊，去做骆驼商人的首
to
领。
become a
后
camel
来这
businessman
个寡妇
leader.
40岁，
and the
就
widower
嫁给20岁的穆罕默
who
德。
was 40
穆罕
married
默德
the
的第一任
20-year-old
妻子
Muhammad.
是一个寡妇，
So his first wife
Muhammad
was
呢，
a widower,
穆斯林穆罕默德到
and
最后
Muhammad
他一共娶了12个，
had 12
12个老婆，
wives.
一共有12个老婆，
He had 12 wives.
很羡慕啊。
I'm so envious of him.
所以《古兰经》里面啊，《古兰经》
So
里面
in
有
the
讲，
Al-Quran,
一
it
夫
was
多
stated
妻，一夫
one
多妻，
husband and many
一
wives.
夫娶4个老婆，
One
那是可以
husband can have 4
但是
wives.
他们也主张一夫一妻的，就
Uh,
没有主张一夫一妻。
but they
古兰经里
also
写，我
uh,
看过《古兰经》，
stress one husband and
不
one
是看
wife.
过，
Grandmaster has
全部
read
看
the
完，
Al-Quran
从头
too,
看到完。
from beginning to end.
那是因为麦加跟麦地那中间有一个岩洞，
That's because there is a cave between Mecca and Medina, and Muhammad went into the cave and saw
加百列的一个天使，那个天使
Gabriel
跟他讲，
angel, the
你
angel
是最
Gabriel,
后一个先知。
who told him that you're the last prophet.
摩西也是先知啊，
Moses
耶
was
稣也
also
是
a
先知啊，
prophet, and
然后他是
Jesus
最后
was
一个
also a
先知，
prophet, and he's the last prophet.
然后把上主的启示告诉他，
And
后来的弟子把它编
that's
成
God's
这样子的
inspiration from
穆罕
God
默德
was
对了，他
told
也
to
是
him,
神教，
which later became the Al-Quran. So that's
最
how
后的
Muhammad
结果啊，
was.
基
That's
督教
the
的意思是这样子：
Islam.
当耶稣再来的时候，
Christianity was like this.
如
If
果耶稣再
Jesus comes back, the returns
这个
of
灵魂啊
Jesus,
会跟这个埋葬的尸体结合在一起，
his soul will merge with the
跟
physical
着耶稣
body
一
that
起
was
上天。
buried. And
在
then
启示
people
录
will
里面
be,
有记
or
载，
he is, or
其实
people will be
一直来
resurrected, then will
啊，
go
这
to
个
heaven
穆斯林
following
也是这样
Jesus.
子。
It is recorded
当那一天
in
到来
the
的时候，
Bible as well as in Muslim. When the day
灵
comes,
魂会跟
when
埋
the day
葬
comes,
结合在一
the
起。
soul and the
你
one
信
buried
那
will
穆斯
merge.
林的，
If
一
you're
样会去
Muslim,
升天
then you will
一起
go to
升天
heaven.
啊，一样一起升天。那么我以
All the
前
same.
读这个圣经学院
The
的时候，
past, when I was in the
我知道
Bible
这个基督教就是一个天
college,
国，一
I
个地狱。
know that in Christianity believes in
一个
one
天国，一个
heaven
地狱。
and one hell.
那么穆斯林
And
也
Muslim
是一个天国，一个天地，
also
它
one
的
heaven,
天眼，天的
and
眼地也是一样的
which
天
is the same.
一个
It's
地狱
heaven and one hell.
是一样的。
It's using different
但是
Chinese
去那
term, but
里以
it's the
后呢，
same heaven.
人
And once you get there,
不能够成为上帝，
human beings will never
因为上
become
帝是
God,
神，他是一神，
because
人
God,
永远不能成为上帝。
human beings will never become God,
那佛教有不
because
同
they
的地
are
方，
monotheism. But Buddhism is
世界上
different.
几个宗教你比较起来，
If you compare these different religions, Judaism, Orthodox, Christianity, Catholic, Christians, Muslim, the rest of the Christianity and Muslim, and then you observe them, they are monotheism with one heaven and one hell. And the Vajra Sutra is different. Why is it most rare? It's not just one heaven and not one hell. It talks about the rebirth cycle of the 6 realms. So that's a big difference already. Heaven, Asura, human, hells, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. So rebirth in the 6 realms, rebirth cycle in the 6 realms. And the heaven is not just one. The heavenly realm of desire, or Kamaloka, the heavenly realm of form, and the heavenly realm of formlessness. So there are 3 heavenly realms. It's not just one heaven. But for the other religions, they only believe in one heaven and one God, one Allah. God is the same as Allah, which is the Jehovah. So then, of course, it is most rare, because only Sakyamuni Buddha can extrapolate it so clearly. Then that's why, of course, it is most rare. And not only that, he transcended the heavenly realms. He's gone beyond the heavenly realms. Anyone in the heavenly realms, according to Sakyamuni Buddha, will still need to be reincarnated once you used up your merits and blessings. And this does not exist in other religions. The other religions only allow one to go to the heavens, and that's it. And if you go to hell, you will be there forever, experience the suffering there. So the hells of Muslim, Christianity, Catholicism is the fire prosecutions in hell. So it's impossible just to have one heaven, one hell, and one human realms, and one God. That's monotheism. They only believe in one God. Buddhism is different. Buddhism destroys everything. The spirit of non-phenomena, non-phenomena of self, non-phenomena of others, non-phenomena of sentient beings, non-phenomena of lifespan. And lifespan represents time. The phenomena of sentient beings represent spatial dimension. Self, typically human being takes self as his center. In other religions too. But the Dharma spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha is different. The self is destroyed. And the Vajra Sutra speaks on the non-phenomena of self. So you destroy self. You destroy the self who has desires. The desire self. So all religions in the world have self. Only Sakyamuni Buddha spoke on the religion who has no self, if we refer to it as a religion. Otherwise, it is not a religion. A religion is just a name. Since there is no self, there is no self. Only Sakyamuni Buddha can speak on this. When there is no self, there is no desire. All other worldly religions have desire. They have the desire to go to heaven, to enjoy. What's written in the Al-Quran was Muslims never drink alcohol. Strange. But when you get to heavens, the Muslim heavens, there are lots of alcohol there. It's said that you can use your gold goblet and drink that sweet wine endlessly, and you will never get drunk. It's written in the Al-Quran what the heaven looks like. You can drink sweet wine that tastes like nectar anytime, as much as you want. But Muslims never drink any alcohols, and they don't drink non-kosher food. They don't eat blood, and pigs are dirtiest. The prophet, the story of Na'a Bangzhou, because nobody eat what's that called? The leftover food, so God especially created the pigs to eat them. So all the excrements, nobody would eat the excrements. That's why God created pigs to eat those dirty things. That's why pigs are dirty. They cannot eat pork or pigs. This is what's written in Al-Quran. Why? They don't eat pork. Because pigs are dirty. So if you eat pork, then you become dirty. That's why pork is a taboo. Cannot eat. That's why. But there's self, there's desire in other religions. Only Sakyamuni Buddha said, no self, no desire. This is referred as the most rare. If you don't have any desire, if you practice until you have no desire whatsoever, then you're a sage. Then you're a sage. How come not? You have no desire. Because of desire, it becomes karma. So Sakyamuni Buddha said, all the Buddha Dharma spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha is so that you have no desire anymore. If you have no more self, you have no more desire. If you often think that you're empty, that self, I don't exist, then you would have no desire. And because you have no desire, all your behaviors and conducts would comply with the sagehood of the heavens and earth. And it is due to desire that you create karma. People that has no desire will not create karma. That's the no cause for birth and no cause for death. And without birth and death, that's everlasting life, and that is nirvana. It is different from the everlasting life of other religions. That's why this is the most rare. So only Grandmaster Lu can explain what is the most rare. Buddhism talks about the 5 poisons: greed, anger, hostility, delusion, doubt, and pride. Money, looks, fame, food, and sleep. Those are all desire. You need to break them all. Money, looks, name, food, and sleep. You have to break them. And greed, hostility or anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. You have to break them all. You need to get rid of them. Then you have no more desire. Then you have no more karma. Then you enter nirvana. Nirvana, mentioned in Buddhism, is the everlasting life. No cause for birth and no cause for death. This is spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. So this is called the most rare. So I often use this analogy of the moon. There are no human beings on the moon. Since there are no human beings on the moon, what is good, what is bad? There is no good, no bad. When there are no human beings, how could there be good or bad? And on the moon, what do you desire? If you're by yourself on the moon, what would you desire? You would not have any desire for money, looks, name, food, and sleep. None. Nothing's there. Sakyamuni Buddha said that when nothing exists, that's the real phenomena. Chinese emperors or emperors in the Middle Kingdom. I'm not talking about empress. Oh, the yellow emperor, Shen Ching Tze, asked Cheng Tze about the Tao, and the Chinese sage Confucian also seek advice from Lao Tzu about the Tao. And Lao Tzu and Cheng Tze spoke the same words: ultimate nothingness. You ask me what is Tao. The Tao is ultimate nothingness. The meaning, 自虚, which is ultimate meaningless, that's the Tao. When nothing exists, that's the Tao. Since nothing exists, that's 100% purity. There is no desire whatsoever. That is 100% sage. 100% sage. That's why the Vajra Sutra is indestructible. That's why it is a diamond. Some Westerners call it the Diamond Sutra. The most expensive, indestructible. The Vajra Sutra is indestructible. When nothing exists, how can it break down? Only when there is existence, the existence breaks down. If you have self, this self will age and die. And all the karma created is the cause for your rebirth or reincarnation. when you practice until you reach no self, you will not
你就得到永生啊。
break down, then you would attain everlasting life.
的意思就是这个样子。
That's what
你看
it
其他的
means.
宗教，我跟大家讲，
Look at the other
灵魂
religions.
跟着肉体结合，
As I said, when the soul merge
为
with
什
the
么要跟
physical
肉体
body
结
and
合？
be reborn.
而且
Why do you
他的
want to
那个
merge with
穆
the
斯林
physical
的
body?
尸体埋下去以后，他面
You
孔要
know,
朝着
The
麦加，
Muslims'
他的面孔一定要朝着麦加，
burials would place the corpses to face Mecca.
他埋的方向，不管在
The
哪个地方，
direction
他都
doesn't
要
matter where
朝
you
着
are
麦加。
buried. Their face has to
麦
face
加是圣地啊，
Mecca,
他的天
which
堂
is
在
the
那，
holy
也就是
city.
他的
The spiritual leader
的一个
or
方向，就
Allah's
是在那里，
is
就是
right
他的
there.
圣地。那为什么要跟肉体结合呢？
But why do you want to
就
merge
很
with
奇
the
怪。
physical body? That's
然后
strange.
他还写着，
And it
这
is
个你
also
为了
written,
圣战而死的穆斯林，
Muslims
都可以
who
到天国，
die
都可以到天
for
国，而
uh,
且有70
for the
几位
religion would go to heaven,
72位的
and
处女
they
会
would
侍奉
have
你。
72
那我们
virgins
就要
to
问，
serve you.
那你的为圣战而死呢？
And then we will ask, how about the woman then?
那古兰经里面就没有写啊，
But then the Al-Quran did
自
not
古以来
mention
啊，
the woman.
这穆斯林呢，他是
So
还
ever
是
since
重
the
男轻女，
ancient time, the
重男
Muslim
轻女。
still
穆罕
value
默德
man
在
more
世的
than
时
the
候
woman.
讲了3个
When Muhammad was alive, he
重
said
要的珍宝，
3
一个珍宝
treasures.
是女人，
There
女
are
人的
3
珍宝
treasures. One is
是
woman
送给男人的，
to be given
男
as a
人的珍
gift
宝
to a man. So the treasure of
一
a
个
man
就是侍
is a
奉。
woman. The second one
什么叫做
is
事工啊？
嗯
穆斯林有5个事工，
5
你要做这5个事工，才能够成为义人。
merits, like
5种事工，5种修行的方法，可以
uh,
5种修行
we can say
才
5
成为一个义人。
methods of
第3个宝就是
practice or spiritual practice
每一次都要奉
in order to be
这
called
个阿拉的
a
名，
Muslim. And the third one is to
做
praise Allah
这是
in
第
whatever
3
you
个宝。
do. That's the third treasure.
那还是有我啊，
So there's
你到了
self
天国
there.
有72个处女侍奉你，还是欲望啊。
So when you go to
还是
heaven,
欲
you
望还
have
在啊。
72 virgins to serve you. That's
按
still
照佛经里
desire.
面所讲，有欲
The
望
desire is
就
still there. And according to the Buddhist Sutra, when you have
所以我学佛的
desire,
意
you
义
will
就是
have
在这里。
karma. That's the reason why I study
因为
Buddhism,
释迦牟尼佛所讲的，
because
跟伊斯
what
兰教所
Sakyamuni
讲
Buddha
不是一样。
said is different from other religions, from what is said in other religions.
所以世人既为第一稀有，
So this
这个
person
稀
would
有
be
当然
most
是
rare.
稀有，
Of course, is the most
因为他什么
rare
都没有，
because he
没
has
有欲望，
nothing. He has no desire.
那个是没有欲望的神仙，以天地
Is sage
受
without desire.
跟天地之间同样的受。
It has the
为什么
lifespan
灵
as
魂
heaven
一
and
定要执
earth.
着这个肉体，要合
Why
着
is
这
the
个肉体，
soul still attached to
才
the
能够升
physical
天？
body in order to
灵
go
魂
to
就直接
heaven?
升天就可以的。
The soul can go to heaven
我
directly.
的怀疑是这样子，我的怀疑，一神教讲，为什么他要
In Islam,
在坟
it's
墓上
said
弄个
Why do you want to place a cross on the tomb? Because when Jesus returns, then the physical body can be resurrected and merge with soul and go to heavens and always maintain their youthfulness. I don't know what age, but always young. And they always maintain that age. But when you die, the physical body has rot. How could there be physical body? So the souls can go to heaven directly. And the Buddha has said that the physical body has no use. And we age, continue to age, and eventually we die and we become ash, and that's dirt. Return to dust. So why didn't the souls go to heaven directly? Why do they have to merge with the corpses? It's written in both Al-Quran and the Bible. So we are discussing all different religions in the world. The Buddha said you need to eliminate the self and transform it into the everlasting and pure body. We can say it this way. In other words, when you don't have any more desire, then you live together with the heaven and earth, and that is the realm of nirvana. So this kind of person is extremely rare. That's all I can explain. That is the first and the most rare, because there's no self, no karma, no cause for birth, no cause for death. So he is everlastingly present and non-coming. 不来。
那么后面这个就可以解释了。何以故？为什么呢？
Why?
无我相、无人相、无众生相、
Because this person
为什么会这样呢？
does not have any view of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. And why? Because the phenomena of self is non-phenomena. Because it can break down, right? So that's why it's non-phenomena. It doesn't exist. And phenomena of others, sentient beings, and lifespan are all non-phenomena. So all the human beings, time and space are also non-phenomena. Why? Because only those who abandon all phenomena are called Buddhas. When you abandon or discard this phenomena, and when you're 100% pure, then you're a Buddha. That's what we'll talk about today. I was walking past by a watermelon field, and I had this bad thought and stole a watermelon, and I was found out. And the farmer kept chasing after me, and I thought, oh no. And yet the farmer finally caught up with sweat all over. And friend, there's what's it called? Insecticides on the watermelon, so you have to wash it clean before you eat it. So the farmer was very kind, not catching him, but to remind him but that there are a lot of chemicals and pesticides on the watermelon. So if you want to eat it, you should wash it first. When the causes and conditions occur, you cannot stop it. I've been buying breakfast for a very attractive female co-worker, but after a month, I am together with the person who sells the breakfast, not with the co-worker. So these two jokes show there's desire. The first joke talks about the desire for food, stealing the watermelon to eat at home. And the second joke is the desire for lust or sex. So there's always desire there. So because there's desire, that's human world. If you have no desire, that's the sagely realm. Om Mani Padme Hum.